Hello everyone, my name is Tiffany and I'm one of Marni's wing girls in the field. My job is to tell you about the good, the bad, and the ugly sides of being a single female in her early 20s in the dating scene. I will be 100% honest by revealing all my opinions on the men who try to date me or try to pick me up. So today we'll start with what happened the other night. I went on a date with, let's call him Luke. Well, I agreed to go on a date with Luke because we first went off of Tinder. We exchanged about 15 messages before he asked me for my number. And it wasn't like it came out of the blue. It first started off with him complimenting my dog. I have 4 pictures on my Tinder with my dog, so it's obvious that this little puppy is very immersed in my life. And he also had a picture of his dog. A reference of Back to the Future came out, and one of my favorite movies, so that really got the bantering and the conversation going. It was very quick before I got a sense of his humor. And his pictures were great. I mean, he had a couple with his dog, he had one with his nephew. He also had some pictures that really showed off his sense of humor, his playful side, his goofy side. And they weren't selfies. So that was a huge plus for me. Just pictures of him in his doing his everyday activities, not taken by him, but a third party. Before the date, I definitely don't have a rule about not making out. I will, if I have a good time with you, if you're making me laugh and all that, I will kiss you. But I will not sleep with you. So yeah, there's no rules or anything, just except with the having sex part. On the date, he took me to do several things. I was pleasantly surprised with the way it went. It was probably one of the best first dates I've actually ever been on. It started off with I got an Uber to his house, and then after that, as soon as I got there, he had an Uber waiting and ready to go to the first bar. Making a point that he didn't tell me at all what we're gonna do. He just said, "Get ready and be ready." So we first went to a bar called the Woods in Hollywood, I believe, and it was exactly what it sounds. It looked like the Woods. Theme was woods. And when we walked in, Redbone, Come and Get Your Love was blasting in the background along with other 70s funk music. And that really gave me a sense of his style. I mean, he's fun. He's playful. He enjoys that. That was great. It's a lighthearted bar. It's not anything like a nightclub, which I'm a big fan of. So, another thing that really stood out to me was that he got up and, first he asked me what I wanted to drink. I told him, and then he went to the bar and ordered. That really took a lot of pressure off of me, because it's not that I don't mind paying. I really don't mind paying, but it's such a turn off when you split a bill or when you feel the need to pay, especially on the first date. If he's asking you out, he should pay. So, after conversation, I think we were there for about an hour and a half. He told me to get my stuff ready because we're going to go to the next bar. I asked him where we're going to go, and he didn't tell me. Another point to make is that my birthday was a few days before we went out, or a few days after we went out, and he knew that I stayed in with the girls and played games. And so he knew I was a big fan of games, board games. So going back to the second part of the date, we got an Uber and we went to the Roosevelt, where he took me to an upstairs bar that I had no idea existed, that had a bowling lane, and all the little tables on the side had little like checker parts, so you can play checkers, you can play all these different games, because there was a cabinet filled with games that you could take out and play. So we played around in Jenga while we sipped on our cocktails. During the date, I was definitely attracted to him. His sense of humor and my sense of humor completely aligned. We were both overly sarcastic and playful, which was fantastic. And he kept looking at me in the eyes as I answered questions, all the questions that he asked me. There is nothing worse than being in a conversation with somebody and having them look around with their eyes. Is just so distracting, and it really makes you feel like you're speaking to someone that's not paying attention to you. So His questions and our questions that we were asking each other were going back and forth, and he definitely paid attention to the minor little things I said. For example, again, we mentioned that I recently celebrated my birthday with board games and takeout, and then he would go on further with that and say, well, what kind of takeout did you get? And I would say Thai. He's like, oh, well, do you like Thai food, or do you, is that your favorite food, or if not, what is? So things like that just really picked apart the conversation, was really trying to make the effort to get to know me. I would say he did make one mistake throughout the date. When he first saw me, he said, wow, you look amazing, and was really energized and sincere about that compliment. And then the first part of the date, he again told me that he loved my smile. My smile is great. And then not too long after that, he mentioned that he bit his finger, and then he said, I just gotta tell you, and he put his hands on my knees and looked me in the eyes and said, your pictures were amazing. I thought you were beautiful from the beginning, but when I first saw you, those pictures do you no justice. Which, I mean, it's very nice of him, but it's also very forward, and I guess it did freak me out. It's not that it freaked me out, it was very intense. So when he said that, my face was showing that emotion, and so he made a point to say, hey, I'm sorry if I'm scaring you or anything. I guess I get really passionate about these things. So it was a mistake in the sense that he was very passionate and intense, but he saved himself by acknowledging that, paying attention to my facial features, and reeling it back in and making a point to say that he apologized for that. So it was a mistake turned into a positive. 3 awesome things that he did on the date were he complimented my smile. I mean, I take care of my teeth, so it was really nice to hear that. He also complimented my outfit. I made an effort in how I look. I put together a nice outfit, and it's nice that he acknowledged that. And another big, huge, awesome turn on was the fact that he planned a date from start to finish and paid attention to the little details, such as the fact that I love games. And that was just, turn on. Yeah, if you're a perfectionist like myself, you're always planning things, and it was just such a relief to have that taken off my shoulders. I did want to kiss him throughout the date. I knew I was going to kiss him after the first bar. I mean, I knew that we were hitting it off. He was so much fun, and I definitely wanted to see him again. So I knew that the very first, after a couple hours. So the kiss did happen, and it happened at the end of the date, where after the last bar, we took an Uber back to my place. He said he was dropping me off. So when we got to my house, he told the Uber to wait, and he walked me to my door. He then, we stood on the porch, and he said, well, I had a really good time. I would like to see you again. Are you okay with that? And then I said, yeah, no, definitely. I would love to see you again. And that's when he grabbed me by the chin with his finger and tilted my head up and kissed me. And, yeah, that's enough to melt a little girl's heart. I definitely will be seeing him again. We both asked. He asked me, and I said yes, and I'm very excited. So overall, it was a fantastic date. He kept me on my feet. He was honest. He was passionate. He was passionate about what he did, what he does really, what he does on the side. Those all translate into just a really good date. He was just a really all-around honest guy that loved what he did, and he was just looking for someone to share his life with, and not in a creepy way, not in an overbearing way, but he was just kind of, you could tell he was ready for that. He was looking for something deeper than just a one-night stand. So I'm excited to see what continues on with this, and I will report back to you. Thank you so much. Bye.
All right, 10 points for guessing what was on offer when the good time gals of the 1950s asked if you wanted help blowing off some steam. Here's a hint. The name is stuck. That's right. We're taking a minute to discuss the humble BJ.